In the summer of 1806, something appeared over Chimney Rock, North Carolina. Not once, but twice. Witnesses described shining figures clothed in white, rising into the sky. 5 years later, others claimed to see two armies riding winged horses clash in an aerial battle above the same stone outcropping. The reports were printed in newspapers. Public meetings were held, and no one ever fully explained what was seen. This is Echoes of the Blue Ridge. I'm North Carolina Realtor Ryan Phillips. Chimney Rock, rising high above the valleys near present-day Asheville, North Carolina, has always drawn attention, long before it became a state park, long before tourism defined it. It was simply a towering stone presence visible for miles. In July of 1806, 8-year-old Elizabeth Reeves, whose family lived near the rock in Buncombe County, told her brother she had seen a man standing on top of Chimney Rock. At the time, scaling the rock would have been nearly impossible. Her brother didn't believe her until he went to look. What he claimed to see was not one figure, but thousands. According to the account later printed in the Raleigh Register and Gazette, Morgan Reeves reported seeing crowds of beings flying into the air around Chimney Rock. They were described as clothed in brilliant white, human in shape, yet without distinct features, ranging in size from infant to adult. Elizabeth called to her mother, Patsy Reeves. Soon, 6 people were watching. Elizabeth Reeves, Morgan Reeves, Patsy Reeves, a younger sister Polly, a neighbor, Robert Searcy, and an unnamed African-American woman present at the home. For nearly an hour, they watched as a shining crowd gathered atop Chimney Rock. 3 figures then rose above the others, hovered, and led the mass upward until they all disappeared into the sky. The account was reprinted beyond North Carolina, including in Edward Augustus Kendall's travel writings. It was treated not as rumor, but as reported observation. Then, 5 years later, in 1811, something even stranger was reported. Over multiple evenings, witnesses described 2 opposing cavalry forces riding tiny winged horses in the sky. They circled one another, formed ranks, and finally, above Chimney Rock, they engaged. Swords clashed. Witnesses claimed to hear distant metallic sounds. The battle lasted roughly 10 minutes, and then the defeated army retreated, and the victors vanished into darkness. Newspapers across the state carried the story. A public meeting in Rutherfordton debated its meaning. Many concluded it was a divine replay of Revolutionary War conflict, a supernatural reminder of the nation's past. Why Chimney Rock? That question lingered. Now, here's where we step carefully. Mass sightings in the early 1800s were not uncommon. Religious fervor was high in post-revolutionary period. The Second Great Awakening was beginning to stir across the young United States. Atmospheric phenomena, cloud inversions, light refraction, distant reflections were poorly understood. Mirages can create remarkably detailed illusions, especially near dramatic terrain. Collective interpretation often followed cultural expectation. But 2 separate waves of sightings, 5 years apart, centered on the same landmark, documented in newspapers, that is unusual. Chimney Rock has long held symbolic presence. Elevated places have often been interpreted as sacred places, where heaven and earth feel closer. To indigenous communities before European settlement, dramatic stone formations carried spiritual significance. By 1806, settlers layered their own interpretations onto that landscape. Angelic hosts, heavenly armies, divine signs. The mountain became a stage for meaning. Were these events atmospheric illusions, religious interpretation amplified by rumor, misreported phenomena, or something we simply lack enough evidence to categorize? The historical record confirms that people believed they saw something. The printed record confirms that others believed them. And Chimney Rock remains solid, silent, unexplained. Today, visitors hike its trails for scenic views. Few know that 2 centuries ago, the skies above it were said to hold angels and armies. Whether miracle, mirage, or mountain myth, the Chimney Rock apparitions remain one of North Carolina's strangest recorded events. Next time on Echoes of the Blue Ridge, we step into another mountain mystery, one rooted not in the sky, but in the people themselves. Because sometimes the most enduring legends are not about what was seen, but about who we believe once lived here. Until then, listen carefully. The echoes are still here.